Assignment on MB 6003. Topic is the Electricity Act of 2003, done by myself, Adrina Rai. So the contents of this presentation are listed below: introduction, generation, distribution, key features, amendments, conclusion, and reference. So for the introduction, the Electricity Act of 2003 is an act of the Parliament of India which was enacted in order to transform the power sector in India. So this act came into force from 2003 in June 10th. And some of the major issues governing this act was the generation of electricity, distribution, transmission, trading in power, etc. Now for generation. So this act delicenses power generation completely. About 10% of the power supplied by the suppliers and distributors to the consumers has to be generated using renewable and non-conventional sources of energy so that the energy is reliable. And also, the electricity generation has been made a non-licensed activity, and the techno-economic clearance from the Central Electricity Authority, that is the CEA, has been done away with any power plant. For distribution, so this act licenses distribution in rural areas and also brings in a licensing regime for distribution in the urban areas. However, as per the act, only 16 states in India have been notified as to what constitutes as rural areas. So therefore, the rural distribution is yet to be freed up in nearly one-third of the country. So some of the key features are as listed below. So generation is delicensed, and captive generation is freely permitted. That is, any generating company may establish, operate, and maintain a generating station without obtaining a license under this act. But they should comply with the technical standards as well. Also, no person shall transmit, distribute, or undertake trading in electricity unless he is an authorized personnel, or he can do so if he has an issued license. The central government also may make region-wise demarcation of the country, and from time to time they may make modifications in order to facilitate efficiency and economy. Setting up of the State Electricity Regulatory Commissions (SERC) has also been made mandatory. And the metering of electricity that is supplied to the consumers is also made mandatory. And then the CEA is to make the National Electricity Plan, etc. So the state governments are also required to unbundle state electricity boards, and then the setting up of the Electricity Regulatory Commission, that is SERC, has also been made mandatory. And the provisions that are related to the theft of electricity are made more stricter or stringent. And then the central government is to make the national electricity policy and the tariff policy, etc. And now, for the second part, that is amendments. So several amendments were made after 2003 in this act, and some of them are listed below. So the amendment that was proposed in 2015 is to make major changes. That is to introduce electricity supply companies who will not own electric lines, as the government says that it would attract competition and therefore would cause reduction in the prices. Also, the amendments made regarding the demarcation of the country into regions by the central government, as the concept of regions is no more useful as the electricity grid has transformed into a national grid, and also due to the emergence of single grid operations has made practically regional grids as obsolete. And now for the conclusion. So, therefore, the Electricity Act of 2003 is an act which consolidates the laws that are related to the generation of electricity, distribution, transmission, trading, and also the use of electricity for taking measures which proves to be conducive to the development of electricity industry in our country, which promotes the competition, thereby which protecting the interests of the consumers and the supply of electricity to all areas. And then in the next slide, uh, it is the reference. So all the references that has been taken in order to compile this presentation has been listed. Thank you.